You never met a man like me. You wouldn't understand. I'm in a rock and roll business, honey. Well, I'm in a rock and roll band.
Good morning, and it is still morning. Welcome to the Rockstar Fitness Podcast, proudly in association with Mr. Simon Dutton of Made Coaching and Mr. Rob McGeary of Fat Loss Fat Flame, who's gone even longer. He's gone
Fat Loss Fat Flame.
What's going on? Rob, we talked about it last time we were on. You're not actually going bald. And yet you're still insisting on continuing with this.
Because I found something new as I go deeper into these weird Twitter realms of no fat and all this. Lathering yourself post shower in coconut oil, and it feels amazing up here. Oh my god, it feels incredible.
But only to the waist, because you don't touch below there anymore.
The whole thing.
How are you, Mr. No Fat Rob? How are you being able managing to put coconut oil on your old boy and not just go the whole hog?
So that I think is where the real benefits come from. The learning the self-control to not take it further.
Fucking Yoda, like. I mean, he's.
I still want him to change his business to Fat Loss Fat Flame.
Fat loss. Just call it
Fat Loss Fast Flame.
You'll be breaded, but you will never ever ejaculate again.
Never. Depending on the situation at the time.
Right. Boys, how are we? How are we doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. It's been picking up, slightly busier week. It's good. So all things good.
My one-to-one diary is closed. I don't have any spaces available at all. In fact, I'm farming them out to other people when they inquire.
It's a good problem to have, right?
It's a fucking great problem to have. I don't like doing it because it's like, but yeah, it's a good problem to have. So obviously online, different story. I am still motoring away there and adding here and there. So that's continuing to grow in a nice, reassuring way. But yeah, one-to-one, I'm closed. So if anybody that sees this at this point in time is thinking about coming to work with me, just bear in mind that there will be either a waiting list or I'll be making a referral to somebody that I trust, who used to be the good-looking one of the trio, and is now bald. So,
I was about to say they're not going to want to come to Hong Kong, mate.
No. I've got to bring this up, right? Because a couple of my clients have been watching this, right? And my one-to-one clients, in fact, have been watching this, which worries me because I'm like, But one of them the other day said, we were talking about this and sort of saying like, I seem to be giving Simon a lot of abuse, but
what else is new?
But not the good-looking one. And I was like,
I
was like, what? Wait a fucking minute. What about me? apparently Rob's the good-looking one. So, if we were a boy band, Rob would be the Robbie Williams. I think that Simon, you would be the Mark. Just saying, just throwing it out there, right? And I don't know which one.
There are those weird girls that like Jason Statham, aren't there?
I played like Brian Harvey from East 17, just not even in the fucking band.
Yeah.
Wrong side of the tracks. Wrong side of the tracks.
There were these weird girls that like Jason Statham, right? Like this is those kind of people that we're talking about here, aren't we?
I don't think those girls are weird, Simon. I quite think that Jason Statham's an attractive man myself. So I'm gonna put it out there.
It's time to get rid of the beard and the hair then.
He's a good-looking bastard. He's a good-looking bastard. That's what I used to do with Tom Morgan. You remember this? I think you might have seen me do this when trying to speak to a group of girls. I would rock up and say to them, "Girls, I need to ask you for a female opinion on something. Does my friend Tom here look like a ginger Jason Statham, or does he look like Max Branning from EastEnders. And that would get the conversation flowing, and invariably the girls would all be like, you know,
EastEnders.
Very diplomatic, and be like, oh no, of course he looks like Jason Statham. No. Anyway, this is my mug for today.
I haven't got one today.
I don't know if you can see that. It says, my entire life can be summed up in one sentence, which is, well, that didn't go as fucking planned. My sister got me this mug because everything nothing tends to work right the way that's intended for me, but everything always seems to work out the way that I intend. So she was just like, you're just a lucky bastard. So she bought me this mug.
Now I haven't got it today. I've just got a water bottle. I've got mine just says Volvic. They can pay us for the advertisement if they want.
Boring. The one downside to having facial hair is that now my mustache holds about 5 ml of fluid every time I take a drink, so I have to suck it off afterwards. Simon,
is this how you artificially gain weight? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I've hit 100 kilos. You were 99 before the beard came on.
99.95.
It is a mustache to push it over the edge.
I'm not anywhere near 100 kilos at the moment. I lost another. I dropped from back down from 207 pounds down to 201 this week, and it's just because my activity's up, my food isn't. So I'm leaning out a little bit, but
yeah,
it's not planned. It's just I'm accidentally getting lean.
There'll be so many people hearing this that just be thinking, "You prick!" All the potential clients you've had are now just lost because they'll be like, "Wanker."
Anyway, beard care. Simon was asking me about beard care, and I made the suggestion that he get himself one of these bad boys. This is just a Kent hairbrush, and the reason for that is just because it exfoliates the skin and gets all the natural juices flowing. It stops you from getting beard itch. But I don't know, boys. So, Rob, have you ever grown it out properly?
The longest it ever went, I'll find a photo. The longest it ever went, I think I did like 4 or 5 months, and it got bushy, but it didn't get long. And then I just.
How old were you?
This wasn't that long ago. This was maybe 32, 33.
You're a lost cause.
But half of the reason I shaved it off was around the time that everyone, and I'm not putting you two in this bracket at all, but everyone who didn't have a personality grew a beard because they thought it gave them a personality. I mean, and all they ever spoke about was their beard, and I was like, well, I'm not joining you clowns. I don't know.
Grew a beard, had avocado toast, and decided to go out in Shoreditch. Yeah, that's what they did.
See, the problem for me is that if I don't get my hair cut regularly, you see, I didn't manage to get it cut that last week, in the last week, so it's a little bit longer. So if I don't get my hair cut regularly and really pull it in tight at the sides, I just look like. Have you guys seen The Fat Man? Right, Mel Gibson plays like a really angry, bad-tempered Santa Claus. That's
Yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah, it's a fucking.
I want to see that.
It's a fucking good movie. But without the haircut, I start looking more and more like Mel Gibson with a beard, and I hate Mel Gibson. So I like that movie, and I like a bunch of Mel Gibson's movies. But Mel Gibson's responsible for Braveheart, and that's a fucking travesty. So as far as I'm concerned,
I mean, I thought you were going to go with the anti-Semitism was the reason why you don't like it. But no, that's fine. As long as, but Braveheart was where we crossed the line.
People are entitled to their opinions. No. Look, the anti-Semitism aside, right? Because that's just abhorrent. Like any kind of sectarian hate, any kind of religious-based hate, or I mean, just hatred in general for people being different, should be stamped on by the world. Apart from vegan, because those people are, they deserve it. But You know the ones I'm talking about, right? With the vegan fringe. Those ones.
Yeah, but let's say they're not a religion. They just act like one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a godlike belief in plant-based.
And CrossFit. Apparently, normally the two go hand in hand.
Mel Gibson made 2 movies in a row that were very Anglophobic. Like he made not necessarily in a row, but he made Braveheart, and then he made The Patriot, where the enemy was the English/British. And so I've got it in my head that Mel Gibson hates the British, and not being a raving rabid nationalist from north of the border myself anymore. I just think that's a bit much. Come on now, like your movies are very successful in Great Britain. You might want to think about that. Like,
Not anymore.
yeah, no.
When was the last Mel Gibson movie? I don't. Is he retired? Is he directing? What was he doing with his life now?
I think the last one was The Fat Man, and it was very good.
Okay. So you still got it.
Don't like Mel Gibson because he's anti-British, but go and watch The Fat Man because it's really good. No, I'm not saying don't watch Mel Gibson. I don't particularly. I don't like him. It's something about it just rubs me up the wrong way. But in that film, fantastic. Go and see it. I watched it on Amazon Prime. I think it was on there round about Christmas time. I think. Or was it recently? I don't know. Regardless, really good. Go and watch it. Santa Claus is a fucking badass.
I have to wait till December now. You can't watch Christmas movies right this time of year.
And you've still got to wait till December to watch The Night Before, because that's another one that you need to see, which has got Seth Rogen is phenomenal in it.
I mean, it will cut into my Die Hard watching time. You know, I have to watch that about 4 or 5 times over the course of December. Like,
you only need to watch Die Hard once. You only need to watch Die Hard to open the Christmas season, and that's it. Once Hans Gruber falls off the Nakatomi Plaza, right? Game on, Christmas time. So if that happens on the 1st of December, or if it happens on the 12th of December, that's when Christmas starts.
The second one's also a Christmas fight, so I'm gonna find time for that at some point in December.
Yeah, that you can fit in any time at all. Right? You just anytime after you watch Die Hard 1, because you can't watch movies out of sync. You can't
No.
You can't watch movies out of sequence. That's just wrong. Like, who does that?
Elle's decided she's got wanting to desperately watch through the Harry Potters again. And I'm not a huge Harry Potter man. We started with the Philosopher's Stone. I'm like, there's going to be loads of, like, so many hours of this in the next few weeks now.
I have zero issues with that. I quite happily watch Harry Potter. The only problem is that the kids, Freya especially, fucking obsesses about it. So she watches it on an almost weekly basis, which means I'm so sick of them now that I've probably seen them, like, and it's not even watching them, right? Because I'll let her put them on in her bedroom, put a TV in there for her with Apple TV, so she can watch whatever she wants to on Netflix or Prime or her accounts. And she sits and she watches them, but I can hear it. Like, I can hear it, and I'm like, oh, I can't take it anymore. So yeah, it's kind of put me off a little bit. But yeah, I don't really mind the Potter movies. I think they're, especially around Christmas time, because it's the mood you get, right? They're all pretty much set around that sort of time frame, right? I mean, it's good. I like it.
I actually enjoyed it this time better than I did the last time I watched it. I don't know if I'm just getting, like, more soppy and sentimental in my old age that I'm starting to enjoy these kid movies again. But like, I wasn't that fussed as a kid, but now I was quite into it when I watched it the other day. I don't know if that'll be the same for all of them or not.
Right, Rob. Getting off the topic of movies, because this is not a movie YouTube channel. This is
a movie podcast.
This is about health and fitness, and obviously Rob's masturbatory habits. So let's talk about this new thing you've got going on, this coconut oil nonsense. Because you come on, right, and obviously you've shaved your head again, and you know it looks good, but you know clearly you're not going bald, so it's just kind of folly at the moment. But you've got a reason for doing it, and you said that it's come off the back of your no fap nonsense. So fill us in.
Something like that.
Fastlane.
I'm having a bacon sandwich, by the way. Health and fitness.
So yeah, I mix in these weird Twitter circles, and I like to try things out. It's rare that I ever say no to trying something out.
How many lonely weeks before it becomes cannibalism? I'm a bit worried.
Well, who knows? Depends how deep down the rabbit hole. There's guys that just eat nothing but organ meat, which I think is a bit weird. I'm not going that far.
No,
However, I draw the line probably at, rubbing myself head top to toe in coconut oil post shower.
That makes more sense.
so this is what you're doing right now. Post shower, coconut oil, top to bottom,
Coconut oil all over.
all over your old boy.
If you look at the cosmopolitan / popular media version of what you would do with coconut oil, you'd probably just do it on your head because it's natural moisturizer and whatever in that. But these guys go next level and go, well, why not moisturize your whole body? And think about it, when was a time you ever did that? We do it to babies. Why do we then stop doing it to ourselves?
I have
I don't spend much time doing it to babies, Robbie. Speak for yourself.
once a month. I have done it. So I've got kids. Once a month, I'll jump in the bath with some E45 oil in it, just because I get a little bit of eczema every now and again. So I jump in the bath with a bit of oil in it, and I come out feeling kind of like, I don't like it. I quite like feeling of getting out of the shower and having that slightly tight sensation on your skin because you're clean. And you don't get that when you oil up like that. So it's not for me. That being said, I mean, I do moisturize every now and again, just not particularly good at doing it on a regular basis because, man,
Is this because
he sort of mugged us off about the you've only got a beard because you've got no personality nonsense, and now he's gonna fucking stand there and tell us he's moisturizing his entire body. He's a woman, right? That's what it is. He's a woman. He doesn't like the beards because he's a woman.
Is this just because it feels good, or was this like the no fat thing? There's some crazy health benefit, like it improves your HRV by like 70% or something like that. What's the Twitter hole saying?
It depends where you want to draw the line on how deep you're going to go down that hole. So there's some guys.
If you're going down any holes with coconut oil, that's pretty deep.
We'll talk about prostate massage another day. However, we'll talk about it another day. It divides into people like me who just use it because it's kind of like a natural moisturizer and it feels good and you smell good and it's all right. And then you've got other guys that think the science is well out on this, that think massaging certain areas you absorb certain nutrients better, and that obviously includes your junk. I don't know about that bit, but my God, it feels good.
Topical coconut oil to the junk has some benefits. This has got to be enlargement, isn't it? This is you trying to enlarge it.
Well, aren't we all? Isn't everything we do?
No. I'm gonna start tomorrow.
No, we're not. I've already shown you the mug that she's got.
Yeah. I'm so glad you finished that sentence.
So let me just get this straight, right? So you're no fat, right? But you're covering yourself head to toe in coconut oil, and you're including your old boy, and
of course,
you're not getting carried away with that.
I'm not getting carried away with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Yoda-like levels of self-control. I'm very impressed. I'm also quite disturbed. So
Yoga didn't get laid much either, did he?
I probably, those little close hands. He didn't know. He's not rubbing anything out with those.
Not that I'm a massive Star Wars aficionado, but I believe in the Mandalorian he's young, yeah? So you see the baby is, and in the original Star Wars trilogy, he's old. What did he do in his prime? What was he doing? He was slaying Tang, shall we say?
In the Mandalorian, that's not Yoda.
Is it not?
No.
Shows how much I know.
I thought so too. I'm not a big Star Wars guy.
Shows how much I know about it.
What the hell is? Like, how am I the only person on here that's not throwing out the phrase "I'm not a Star Wars guy"? Like, What?
I don't know.
How can you not be a Star Wars guy? It's the greatest story ever told. And yes, I am taking that line from the movie about the Bible. I don't.
No,
Right? It's the greatest story ever told. It makes all others look pathetic in comparison.
but did anyone fall off the Nakatomi Plaza?
No,
No, exactly.
but the emperor fell down the shaft. Even better.
Yeah. Never floated my coconut oil. Not once.
Maybe I would just feel a little bit differently about this stuff if I just slathered myself in coconut oil.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
I feel
You go off Star Wars immediately because you find more entertaining things to do.
you lube.
What's the next thing? What are you starting to research on the web that might be on the horizon?
The next one, this will be implemented very, very, very soon. And to be fair, I probably need to do this anyway. Is exclusively drinking San Pellegrino.
Exclusively.
Exclusively.
The regular water's bad for you.
San Pellegrino water. So not that regular water's bad for you.
Carbonated one.
Say again?
Carbonated one.
Carbonated one, yeah.
Yeah.
So fizzy water.
Depending where you are in the country, you've either got soft or hard water in your taps. And the soft water's full of shit and it's tough to absorb, and the mineral content is like nada. Whereas San Pellegrino, and this I have researched fully, still has its like all the minerals that were intact when it was first analysed in the 1800s or whatever it was, or maybe even further back than that.
Right.
Still has that same high mineral content because of where it's come from, and it's a hard water, and that's the theory behind the San Pellegrino thing. Plus, it's kind of nice. And
It is nice.
So I come from a part of the UK originally, obviously, not anymore, where it's not hard water, right? It's soft water because it's coming directly from the Scottish Highlands. Yeah. So it's pretty fucking healthy. It's about the only healthy thing that happens in Scotland. Right?
Yeah. You have a glass of that water next to a battered Mars bar and you're set.
I can tell you that having a cup of tea in Scotland versus having a cup of tea down here, they are very different. What I would say though, Rob, is that San Pellegrino water that you're talking about doesn't come out of the well fizzing.
No, obviously not. The carbon's added, but
and fizzy water is for psychopaths.
I like fizzy water
because I don't, because I'm team NoFap and I cover myself in coconut oil 4 times a week.
And cannibalism's around the corner, so
it's only a matter of time before I'm slaying people with a chainsaw listening to Phil Collins. So it's coming.
Yeah, I saw a 60 Minutes Australia where there was a guy that went on one of those forums. He went down a Twitter hole and found someone to volunteer to be killed and eaten. And I just see this in your future very soon. I'm glad I'm this side of the world. JP might get it.
Maybe. Eat me, I taste the coconuts. Well, yeah, maybe.
Look, there's no way he could eat me. Look at the size of it. He's not going to have the appetite.
I didn't say he was eating who.
I think it's more than my protein allowance for the day as well.
Yeah.
You can't spill over or your kidneys die or something like that.
Yeah.
Man, we've literally, thanks to the Twitter holes of Rob, we're going full, like how the knees over toes guy started bringing back all the Poliquin stuff. This is sort of what we're doing now. No microwave. He'll be starting taking 400 aminos a day next.
Toxic
water's bad for you. It's the second coming of Charles. May he rest in peace.
Don't touch receipts. Don't touch receipts.
No.
Shampoos, stop them with just coconut oil, because shampoos are going to bad for you and they're going to make you toxic.
It's harder to put the 1-year-old boy and not rub one out as well, apparently.
Shampoos.
Yeah.
My head and shoulders is just too naughty.
Yeah. Too much. All right. Should we talk about some fitness stuff?
There was Poliquin in there. There was healthy water.
Knees over toes guy. That's a great reference because he's getting a lot of stick because people think he's doing something new, that this is some brand new thing. And like you just said, it's kind of the second coming of the old Poliquin stuff. It's getting a lot of stick online. People going, "That's terrible. That's dangerous." And all. It's thoughts.
I think a knees over toes guy in the same way that I spent most of my career thinking of Eugene Deo. Like some of it is it's some of it's YouTube clickbait and some of it is brilliant. And like, you know, like it depends on what, you know, how much you watch of it, I suppose. But I think some of his stuff's all right, you know. You want to get into, you know, length and ranges, and certainly in the lower body, you know, it's not terrible. What about you, JP? What do you think?
Unlike you guys, I actually don't pay attention to fucking anybody outside of my little circle. I went through a phase where I just got rid of all of the people that posted stuff that irritated me or I thought was stupid. So I literally don't follow anybody. I use Twitter to troll politicians. I use Instagram to troll my friends. Like I'm not the social media business type. I don't use social media to ads or.
So to give you an intro of the knees over toes guy, he's a lot of like the old school sort of Poliquin training, a lot of like the VMO stuff for knee stability, a lot of real length and range sissy squat type things. And he kind of got popular by like just doing these little videos where he jumps off ladders, lands on his toes with his knees almost touching the floor. Like he lands in a sissy squat from a height, and to show, look, my knees are really stable and they're bulletproof. And then his actual videos behind those weird stunts are actually all right.
I mean, I'm gonna be just hanging out for the day as Achilles tendon snaps.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
my knees are fine, but did you hear that sound? That sounded like a shotgun.
It's probably already happened. He's got about 10 years worth of old content that he's recycling. He's actually in a wheelchair now.
Yeah. Should your knees pass over your toes, boys?
I mean, yeah, fine with me.
Fine by me, as long as they can. As long as they can.
I mean,
they're comfortable and confident too. Why the hell not?
Depends on the goal of the exercise. Depends on the individual structure. Depends what you're trying to achieve. You know, in all honesty, if people want to post videos up, bang on about that. Fucking more power to them.
Maybe not jumping off ladders, but I'll be much more. Yeah. I'm much happier that there's information out there for people to learn how to get their knee over their toe to get into better positions than the whole knee should never pass over your toe. It'll explode. And like, I'd rather like, all right, let's get you to, you know, teach people to get strong in end ranges rather than never ever go 7 miles of it. You know, like out of the two, if it has to go to an extreme, I'd take that one.
Yeah. I think there are too many people that use. I had a bit of a back and forth with another coach on Instagram at one point, and all it did was prove to me how the Instagram algorithm worked, because this back and forth was all done via comments, and it went on for like maybe an hour or two, and in that hour or two space of time where there was that back and forth engagement going on, I gained like 60 followers. Like, it's stupid. I'm not spending that much time on Instagram. It's just not happening. So, you know, basically I put up a post where I was sick and tired of seeing all these, you know, right or wrong type videos, you know, where they put the tick and the cross on it and they've got side by side.
Oh, I remember that fad.
Fuck off. Like, just fuck off.
The last one I saw, the last fad, I think Rob started it. He started doing all the film quotes in like the film little vid clips with like a caption on it. And I saw everyone on Instagram started doing it. I genuinely think you influenced Instagram.
He's bound to be in a group that they've all been doing it. They're all doing it together.
You and Declan.
Like me,
Declan's taken over.
Yeah, they're all just shouting about fucking calorie deficit and.
I'm gonna go listen to the Autonomy podcast to hear Declan talk about coconut oil and no fat next.
Yeah.
I love Declan.
I actually dropped Declan a message today because he's off on one at the moment. Declan's another coach. He's a good guy.
Great guy.
He wasn't available this week, but I did try and get him on because he's been ranting about people using the phrase "skinny," or you're getting skinny. And so
I'm gonna call him skinny when he gets on here. Right?
I'm gonna get him on, and do it. We'll just mug him off.
100%. I'm calling him skinny.
All this marathon training, though, bud, you are looking a bit skinny. No, but I mean,
sorry, lean. He's really lean.
He's been making a very valid point about it, in that you wouldn't call someone fat, so why do you think it's okay to call him skinny? So, he was a bit too busy today. I only saw this morning. He's been doing it. This has been ongoing for like 3 days, I think, where he's just been going off and on it. And I only saw it today, and he posted up a thing on Instagram about it. And so I was like, "Hey, bud, are you free in 30 minutes? Jump on a call." And he was too busy today, but we'll get him on. We'll get him on, and we'll talk about the acceptable vernaculars for describing people's composition or shape, because you can't just call someone a fat bastard these days. So you shouldn't be able to call them a skinny bastard either.
Yeah, exactly. Not even a doctor can call someone fat these days. But like you can make the same argument with someone that's clinically underweight, but that's apparently okay.
Yeah. So we'll get Declan on. We'll talk about that at some point.
I'll have a field day on that one. I will get taken off the air if we talk about Tess Halliday's recent finding out that she's been diagnosed with anorexia. I'll probably get in trouble for this.
One, who, and two, who cares?
She's like a big plus size model and a big activist for the body positivity movement. Right. And she's come out as saying that she's been diagnosed with anorexia. Now, if she is generally struggling with it, then all sympathy. I'm sure you can have it at any size. But considering the fact that she's always claimed to be happier being bigger, it doesn't strike me as someone that's all of a sudden going to be drastically trying to lose weight, and it just seems like a way of getting back on this morning to me. But maybe I'll get a bit of backlash for that. I think that's an episode in itself. That has to be a to be continued. Yeah. Right, we'll go for so long.
We're going to do a body positivity one?
100% should do a body positivity. This will either put us in the map or get us cancelled.
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care.
YouTube.
I don't use social media for any form of advertising or marketing. So, the only things I do on social media is abuse my friends and put this content up, right? And YouTube isn't really social media, it's a search engine. So the only social media I really use is Instagram, and I use Instagram to put up posts about this. So I don't care. They can cancel me on Instagram.
Sav might make you take off the shirt.
Huh?
Sav might make you take off the shirt. You won't want your branding on a body positivity brand.
Yeah, it's true.
Sav won't care.
Fucks, Kevin.
No. Zero.
Zulu Foxtrot, ladies and gentlemen. Zulu Foxtrot. Anybody that comes on here can say whatever the fuck they want, as long as it's not anti-Semitic.
I think a fun, reoccurring topic of this podcast should be teaching JP someone new in the fitness industry.
I mean, it's kind of part of the course, right? Simon mentioned something, and I'm like, who?
Who?
I stopped giving a shit a long time ago about who was doing what in the industry. I don't see the point of paying attention to the 99% of it that's dross. I'm not interested, and I don't want to spend my life being Rob and getting triggered by everything either. I mean, he seems like
triggered.
I'm an angry man, Simon. You know this, right?
Yes.
I'm an angry man. So giving me more fuel, I don't need more fuel. I'm good. I'm like the eco-friendly angry man. I don't need any more fuel.
What I love about Rob's social media habits is that something like small will make him really triggered, and then he'll try something 12 layers deeper. You know, a tiny thing will annoy him. But not masturbating is a great idea. Like, why didn't I think of this before?
The best part is he's like, no fat, you fucking idiots. 2 minutes later, yeah, I'm doing it.
But it all comes down to.
I want to do it, take the piss, but now I'm 5 months deep. It's not funny anymore.
All comes back to there's everyone else. And when I get too close to that circle, I want to, whether that is the beard thing, whether that's the hair, whether that's Star Wars, no fap, whatever it is, fitness industry, that's when I want to go, right, I'm going that way. And I go that way.
If everybody else is going in one direction.
Yeah. I quite like I used to have a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who went so far down that like the wormhole and these things, like never used a microwave, everything had to be in glass Tupperware and glass bottles because plastic was going to kill you, only sort of like organic shampoos. And I'm like, it's like the second coming, you know, like it's going to be like this. Like every week it's like, what new have you tried?
Yeah.
Carnivore diet's next, man.
Oh, you're gonna go there. Yeah, because that'll make you really healthy.
I think like everything has its place. I think that's another episode in itself, talking about the carnivore diet.
Simon, there's no place for it. We are not carnivores. We're opportunistic carnivores in the sense that we've got a brain that can allow us to hunt animals with food. We are omnivorous creatures, right? You know, as long as we get plenty of protein and good healthy animal fats in, it keeps us very healthy. But avoiding other types of food that omnivores would eat is just a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for colorectal cancer. So good luck to all those carnivore dieters.
I think the place I have is not long term. It's the I have really bad digestive issues. I don't react well to fiber recently. We'll do it for a short period of time as an extreme elimination diet, then you add shit back in. Then you go to a stanifiding approach. It's like when you're really fucked past the stanifiding, you do a month of that and then go back and add all these foods back in. I think other than that, no. But I've seen a lot of people have severe digestive issues that have been helped by it. But yeah, I don't think it's a long-term solution.
Was it Joe Rogan tried it for like 2 weeks and ended up with like basically just explosive diarrhea? That's
it's probably what clears out your digestive system, right? It allows it to rest.
Digestive system.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's probably what it is. If that's what it is, great.
And on that bombshell,
yeah. Ladies
and gentlemen, we're out.